Narrator Books and HarperAudio present Sweet Nothings, Confessions of a Candy Lover by Sarah Perry. This is the author. To Preston, the sweetest one. A multitude of small delights constitute happiness. Charles Baudelaire. Happiness, not in another place but this place, not for another hour but this hour. Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. Sometimes I think that the thing I love most about being an adult is the right to buy candy whenever and wherever I want. Ryan Gosling. Introduction. On root beer barrels. Just an elegant idea, these, an intensely sugary soda in nugget form. The shape of this ancient penny candy is so old-fashioned, I wonder if it makes any sense to kids these days, when and if they encounter it. Even in the 1980s, barrels abounded in my childhood, on-screen and in person. They carried cartoon characters over waterfalls, and they stood in the rock shop near my home in Maine, filled with tiny polished stones that my mother and I dipped our arms into, the cool, smooth surfaces flowing over our skin. Barrels decorated restaurants in the mountains of New Hampshire, where my Aunt Gwen lived, where everything rustic had a clean, burnished charm. Barrel planters bordered yards, standing vertical or artfully tipped over, spilling pansies and marigolds onto bright lawns surrounded by tall pines. I would get my root beer barrels from the penny candy counter at our tiny Main Street pharmacy, which tells you what a time capsule Maine is. It's people forever looking backward, visiting drive-ins and roadside ice cream stands, using all manner of old language to help and confuse those from away. Ask directions of a Mainer, and you will have to, because cell reception is abysmal up there. And those directions will include at least one landmark that hasn't stood there for a decade, or the name of a family farm now paved over with a Dollar General. Those sugar barrels were admirably detailed, little incised lines for the planks, 2 raised rings for the stays. Wait, that's not right. The wooden boards are called staves. The metal rings that hold them together are hoops. I used to have this knowledge. Staves, hoops, bilge. It comes back to me, and I wonder how much other forgotten knowledge I contain. As kids, we'd giggle at bunghole, even before Beavis and Butthead. Those were days of analog knowledge, when the thought of wood entered the daily conversation, when at least some of the materials of your life would be recognizable to your ancestors, before everything became plastic, acrylic, ahistorical. So this candy was an ancient shape, echoing an object that stood in distilleries and barns and in the holds of ships made from the same wood and iron. And the flavor, too, was old, a treat crafted for your great-grandparents. The base for root beer is sarsaparilla or sassafras, long known to the region's Native American peoples as medicine, commodified by white pharmacists in the mid-19th century, enhanced with various herbs and spices. Birch, spruce, wintergreen, a forest on the tongue, the depth of old-growth trees entering your body ushered in by sugar. Star anise, nutmeg, clove, ginger, spices that had once been precious, once meant wealth. Molasses, currency and history, the South and its violence, the North and its violence. Maine takes its soda several steps further in its preference for Moxie, a darker brown sweet beverage with a flavor usually described, inadequately, as root beer plus cough medicine. Moxie dates to 1876, the same year Charles Elmer Hires created the first commercial root beer. It was first marketed as a medicine called Moxie Nerve Food, meant to cure anything from softening of the brain to nervousness, before the company added carbonation, making it one of the most popular soft drinks in America. It has a bitter aftertaste, a long kick that attacks as soon as the liquid vacates your mouth, fuming out your nostrils. Many Mainers love this sensation, and still others, like me, will themselves to love it out of some desire to belong. Or perhaps we go back for another sip simply because the first hit of sweetness is the only way to dispel the aftertaste. Sweetness and bubbles, bitter fumes, sweetness, repeat until gone, like living through one hellish icy winter after another.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?